Well, to discuss the legal perspectives, we're joined now by Chief Mike Ozekhome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria from Abuja. Morning, Chief, and thank you for joining us today. Well, some of the crux of this matter was that the court did say...
Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you. Well, the court, some of the key things here had to do with those 3 local government areas, because the court upheld the fact that, yes, the INEC official did not have the powers in the first instance to cancel those elections, but the court here says, yes, they didn't have it, but they now upheld those cancellations, that it was wrong to have uploaded it in the first instance. You've gone through the judgment. What do you think of it?
Yes, as a person who is interested in the affairs of Nigeria, not just as a constitutional lawyer, but also as a public affairs analyst on political matters, social matters, I've had the privilege of reading the entire judgment by the Court of Appeal. Let me quickly make this point by way of introduction to put my discourse in full perspective. The election in Abia State is so emotive, so emotion-laden, so sentimental, because of the demography and topography of Abia State, which is bifurcated between 2 major political axes. The Bende axis and the Ukwa-Ngwa axis. The Bende axis starts from Ubakala, Umuahia, to Isukwato, Alaye, Uzoakoli, Igbere, Abriba, Ohafia, and Arochukwu up to Umunochi. That is the old Bende area. Of course, it also includes the town itself called Bende. Then the Ukwa-Ngwa axis comprises of Osisioma, Obingwa, Isialangwa North and South, and also the other area called the Ukwa East and West. Now, the emotion generated has to do with that. The last 2 governors, Chief Oji Uzo Kalu, Ahaji Agamba of Igbere, comes from Igbere, which is the Bende axis. He ruled for 8 years. He was succeeded by Chief T.A. Oji, who is from the Umuahia axis. That is from Umuahia, Ibeku. And that is again also from the same Bende. He ruled for another 8 years. Now, the quarrel now is between 2 people who are now from the 2 axes. The Ngwa Ukwa area has never produced a governor. That is where Dr. Oti comes from. So they saw it as an opportunity to get out of their years of marginalization, particularly because his opponent, I mean Dr. Ikpeazu, I'm sorry, pardon me. Dr. Ikpeazu is from that Ukwa, yes, is from that Ukwa axis. Now, he's facing Dr. Oti, who is from Arochukwu, the same old Bende, and whose running mate, the woman, is also from Ohafia. Ohafia and Arochukwu both make up one federal constituency. So, like that story of Jonathan of 2011, which resonated with Nigerians, when he said he had no shoes at the age of 10. And people felt this was a minority, they had never ruled. And everybody wanted to give him a chance. That was how Abians reacted to the election between these two great sons of Abia State. So when you look at that demographical setup, you will understand why the matter is so emotive. Now, the elections were not initially completed during the first balloting. 177,000 votes were nullified. And INEC felt in its wisdom that they had to go for fresh elections in those three local government areas because the difference between Oti and Ikpeazu was not more than the 177,000 that were nullified. So the elections were repeated. At the Election Petition Tribunal, Ikpeazu won. Then Oti and Abga appealed to the Court of Appeal. Now, the Court of Appeal decided on the 31st of December against the judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal, which was dated 3rd of November. And they voided the votes in about 450 units of Obingwa, Isialangwa North, and Osisioma, which are the strong areas of Dr. Ikpeazu, who hails from that axis. And the reasons for voting them was that there was overvoting. So let us first look at what is overvoting. Overvoting is that the votes cast in a polling unit are more than the number of registered voters in that polling unit. So what this means is that the theater of battle, where election results are generated from, are actually polling units, not the wards, not the local government areas. Because it is what you collate from polling units that you send to wards and then you send to local government areas. So now, they had two star witnesses. Witness number 19, who testified that one Abimbola is the star witness. She testified that one Collins Onyemaobi was the one who signed and generated the card reader register, which was eventually certified by one Mrs. Babalola, meaning that Mrs. Abimbola was not the maker of that computer-generated evidence under Section 84(2) of the Evidence Act. In law, for many of us who do not understand, that is what we call hearsay evidence. When I was in the universities in the 70s, we had one great professor, Professor Okuniga. He used to say that the easiest way of describing or defining hearsay evidence is as follows. Do not say them say. Because if them say is called upon to say what them say will not be able to say what them say. Because that evidence is not directly from that witness. So for evidence to be direct, it must be what you saw. Anyanya, eyeball to eyeball. What local balance, korokoro eyes. What you heard by yourself. What you perceived. What you tasted. What you felt.
What about the other issues?
That evidence, therefore,
The other issues that they raised
had
in
no
there,
probative value at all, even though it was admissible in law. Yes.
but in the judgment, the tribunal also said, I mean, the Court of Appeal
Yes.
also said that the tribunal did not consider all the issues raised, and that the fact that the petitioner did not appear in person did not mean that he had abandoned his case. So all of those factors they consider, were they wrong in coming to that conclusion with these reasons that they gave as well?
Yes. Yeah, let me tell you that. It's not the number of witnesses that determine the success in a case. But there are certain crucial witnesses that are important to a case, beyond which you cannot really win a case. Like late MKO Abiola will say, famously, you say you cannot shave my hair in my absence. I have to be present for you to shave my hair. So if a petitioner who feels aggrieved that he has been denied of his election